Okay, so before we proceed to actually cut an Ultion key on the JMA multicode, we need to understand which key blanks to do. So Ultion have been out for quite a long while, almost 10 years, and they've gone through quite a few different generations of keys. We have what they call the U code series, which means on the original key, on one side it has a U, then a series of numbers. Then we had X series, so it's an X and then a series of numbers. And now we've got A with a series of numbers. And they also did a flat key, which had a C series. So we have U series, X series, A series, and a C series for non-dimple keys. So let's go through how do we know which key blank it is. So if we're talking about the U series, there's two key blanks we're going to use, the BRS1 and the BRN2D. So the first one we have has got two little tracks here and two little tracks there. Okay, so on either side of the key, there's two little tracks, and you'll see that on the original key. Next, we have this key, it's key next generation. This has got two tracks on one side, but only one thicker track on this side. Okay, so two thin ones, one thick one. They both work on the U series. So when we're actually cutting the keys on the JMA multicode or manually, you can go under the same setting. It's just you need to make sure you have the correct key blank, or else it won't fit inside the lock. The cuts don't make a difference. The next key they brought out then was a thicker type key, a 6mm key thicker. Alright, this is your X series. Now there's actually two versions of key blank, TX17 and TX22. The difference is the TX22 is slightly thinner because the X series went through two generations. A first generation and then one where they made the cut slightly thinner. So we always recommend you using the TX22. And you can have a zoom in now and have a look at that. So this is always for it's an X number. Okay, so it's a much thicker key. All right. So when you're on the settings, which you'll see in the video, you might go under TX17 or TX22 on the options, which relates to if it's a X1 before the rest of the code, that's a TX17. But if it's an X2, it's a TX22 setting, but always the same key blank. Next, we've got the brand new ones now. These are called the A series. On the original key, it says A series. And what you'll notice is it's the same thickness as the X series, apart from they have taken off this bit that engages the cam. See that little knob there? They've taken it off. Okay. So that means we need to actually use a different key blank, because if you use the TX22, it won't work in the lock. You need to use the TX28 to actually work on the A series. Okay, so again on the JMA machine, put TX28, be able to cut the key. And finally, we then have Ultion's flat key option. These have a C in front of it called a C series, and this key blank we're going to use is the BRN3D. Okay. So that's how you can tell all the different key blanks, and then you would then use that code to then find the right setting on your JMA multicode, as you'll see in the next part of the video. Thank you. So today we're going to show you using the JMA multicode. Now this is the generation 1, the generation 2 next is much more fancier and nicer to use. Okay, we're going to show you cutting the Ultion WXM, which has got the X number, and also the new Ultion WXM with the A numbers as well. So let's zoom in. So when you set it all up, you're looking for two lights. The two lights underneath, one shows your power to the machine, one shows your Bluetooth connection to this. Okay. Once you're signed in, you'll see this menu. We're going to click on Standard. We're going to click on Lock System, WXM, because that's the name of the key. Click Search. Got a list of different ones here, and this is showing you using different key blanks. Okay, we always normally recommend, no matter which option you use, to always use the TX22 for the X numbers. So as you can see, there's loads of different options here. This says TX17, which is one version of the key blank, and this says TX22. We recommend the TX22 blank no matter which option you use for all the X numbers. But how it relates to it is on the original key, it says X0 or X1, which means it was the first generations, so TX17 selection. Or if it says X2, it was the newer selection, but we always still use the TX22 key blank. So So see how I've clicked a star? On this machine you can actually click a star, which then allows you to go back to the home screen for faster usage and click on My Keys, and it shows you straight to the ones you've starred, okay? So this is an earlier one, because this is O1, so I've clicked on that one, TX17, click on select. Okay, it's telling me I need to use clamp A3, B3, so if you look here, you'll see A3, B3, and it says to use stop 2, so that means we're going to get the metal piece, put to that line, slide the key blank in, now make sure the tracer is down by literally pulling this trigger. Can you see that? Fantastic. I'm going to click read. It's actually safe to lift the guard up whilst it's still moving backwards, but it's always easier just to let it run it through. Now, this is the depth of the cut. As you know from your training course, the higher the number, the deeper the cut. This is symbolised by wider, all right? But see, we've got this option here, manufacturer or read value. Manufacturer means it's going to look at those depths and try and compare against the key number. We always want to click read value, okay? And what it does then, it actually chooses it as it's read it, okay? Which always gives you more accurate reading. So if I read this, I'm reading 5, 4, 3, 6, 1, 5. Okay, see from that. So we're going to cut a key now. So we've got to put the stopper back into position 2. The new key blank in, TX22. And this time we need to lift up the tracer out of the way. And it's telling us to insert. And we've got to cut key, the 2F cutter, which is already in. So we'll click cut. So you can afford the JMA electronic machine, that's how it's done. I'm now going to show you using it manually, so that way, if you don't have this expensive machine, you can do it the manual way, okay?